On the news, reps order Minister of Niger Delta Affairs to publish names of National Assembly members who got NDDC contract as Senate asked NDE to take over FG Public Works program. Police Affairs ministers join lists of top Nigerians infected with COVID-19. And Uganda's Museveni seeks re-election to extend rule. A warm welcome to News Now. Hours after claiming that about 60% of NDDC contracts were issued to members of the National Assembly, Minister of Niger Delta Affairs, Gatswo Akpabio, has been asked to make public the names of the lawmakers that were awarded the said contracts. Speaker of the House of Representatives, Femi Gbajabiamila, who gave the order during plenary today, said Akpabio has 48 hours to comply. Gbajabiamila noted that should the minister fail to publish the names, the House will employ the full wrath of the law to ensure he does so. During his appearance before the House Committee on NDDC on Monday, Akpabio claimed that the lawmakers were, quote, the biggest beneficiaries of NDDC contracts. He, however, failed to present evidence to back his claim. Well, Nigerians are calling on President Muhammadu Buhari to get to the root of the corruption probe in the Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC. Following revelations from the ongoing probe, Nigerians want the probe extended to other agencies of government. Tunjoye has details in this report.
The ongoing probe into the finances of the Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC, has thrown up many revelations of how billions of naira have been spent by the Commission within few months. High point of the National Assembly probe was the collapse of the acting managing director of NDDC, Professor Ponde, while answering questions from the lawmakers. Nigerians are calling on President Muhammadu Buhari to stand firm on his decision to clean up the Commission.
It is unfortunate, I say once again, that the most that we hear are the misappropriation of funds. As we are seeing over the past few weeks, counter allegations, we gave this contract, you took this, you did not account adequately for the contract that was given. We are hearing that many people are keeping some of the funds in their private accounts. It's unfortunate. I think that what we should do is the leadership come out to ask for proper accountability, ensuring that the funds that are allocated to NDDC be judiciously used for the betterment of the people.
I equally call on the President of Federal Republic of Nigeria, in the person of Muhammadu Buhari, that he should, as a president, as a father of the nation, I expect him to, go deep into what is happening in the National Assembly presently in respect of the NDDC probe. Let it not be at the end of the day, they will cover everything will be covered up. I think let him go ahead and ensure that there's no scapegoat, nothing is hidden anywhere. Anybody that needs to be probed, they should summon such person, and such person should respond to the call.
The drama is still unfolding, and we are yet to get to the root of it. And as it seems now, it's like, honestly speaking, the rot in this country is a systemic rot. Corruption is so much enshrined all the spheres of our lives in this country. And I think there has to be decisive action to ensure that there is a stop to it somehow.
So I think the best possible solution to this whole nightmare is that all principal actors in this case should all step aside. From the minister, Godwin Akpabio, to the acting director, they should all step aside, and a private investigative panel should be set up so that they can thoroughly look into the matter, and every persons that are involved in the issue should be sanctioned. The ones that are going to jail should go to jail so that it will serve as a lesson to other people that will occupy the offices.
It seems the hunter has now become the hunted, as the Minister of Niger Delta Affairs, Godswill Akpabio, accused the lawmakers of being beneficiaries of different contracts. Now that the House of Representatives have unanimously given Akpabio 24 to 48 hours to name the lawmakers that benefited from NDDC contracts, Nigerians are waiting to see the next drama that will unfold. From Abuja, Sunji Oye, TV360 News.
Lawmakers at the Niger Senate have charged the National Directorate of Employment, NDE, to take over the Public Works Program from the Minister of State for Labour and Employment, Festus Keyamo. The order was sequel to a point of order raised by Chairman, Senate Committee on Judiciary, Human Rights and Legal Matters, Okpayemi Bamidele. Bamidele noted that Keyamo erred in law by taking over the assignment, which was constitutionally assigned to the NDE through the revised 2020 Appropriation Act. After considering the motion by the lawmaker, the Senate therefore resolved that the NDE should take full charge of the implementation, while the minister would play a supervisory role. Meanwhile, the House of Representatives has asked the Minister of Finance, Zainab Ahmed, not to release any fund to the Public Works Program if it will breach due process. Well, let's now talk security. No fewer than 11 people have been killed by gunmen in another attack in Guragan village in Zango Tafe local government area of Kaduna State. The attack comes barely 24 hours after 21 people were killed by bandits at Kukumdaji village in neighboring Kora local government area of Kaduna. Chairman, Zango Tafe local government area, Ezekiel Manza, who confirmed the incident, said the attack happened on Monday evening and was carried out by gunmen suspected to be herders. According to him, 11 bodies had been recovered, while several others are still missing. And amid the growing cases of insecurity, the Senate has asked Nigeria's military chiefs to step aside to enable new sets with new ideas to tackle insecurity across the country. This is one of the resolutions adopted after the lawmakers deliberated on a motion on the rising number of casualties among soldiers and other security agencies. The motion was sponsored by Ali Ndume. The call comes barely 48 hours after an ambush by suspected bandits in Katsina State on Saturday that left at least 16 soldiers and officers dead and 28 others wounded. Meanwhile, the presidency has reacted to the lawmakers' resolution, saying President Muhammadu Buhari, in his capacity as Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, will do what is in the best interest of the country at all times. President Muhammadu Buhari will consult with key leaders of ECOWAS countries in order to find a solution to the crisis rocking the Republic of Mali. The president made the pledge on Tuesday while receiving reports from ECOWAS Special Envoy to Mali, former President Goodluck Jonathan. Jonathan, who visited the presidential villa alongside President of ECOWAS Commission Jean-Claude Cassibru, briefed President Buhari on his efforts to restore peace in Mali, which has been rocked by a series of protests against President Boubacar Keïta.
When people have crisis, it takes time. There's no magic one that you use to wave and everything will go. It takes time for people to adjust. But the key thing is that before we got there, the three arms of government, both the judiciary, the legislature, and the executive, there were issues. Because of this restiveness, the president has not set up a government. He's working with the prime minister alone. And of course, you need ministers to head major departments of government. Ministers have not been appointed, so it's like the executive too was not functioning optimally. We believe before the end of this week, the Constitutional Court will be in place. They will sort out these 31 seats, and the Parliament will also be in place. And of course, the President is already setting up a government of national unity. Of course, has also set up a committee that will monitor the progress. No international organization, whether ECOWAS or African Union or any arm of the UN, will support that. And nobody will support it. That we must consolidate democracy in Africa. Let me use this opportunity to commend Mr. President publicly. I've already sent a letter to him appreciating that. It's a good gesture. And even completing the program is good. It shows that the president is going on with the legacy projects of previous administrations. So, and that is the way to go.
President Muhammadu Buhari has written the House of Representatives to seek approval for the 2021 to 2023 medium-term expenditure framework and fiscal strategy paper. Rep Speaker Femi Gbajabiamila read the president's letter at the opening of plenary on Tuesday. The Federal Executive Council had on Wednesday approved the MTEF FSP with 12.66 trillion naira budget projection for each of the 3 fiscal years. Top Nigerians have been mourning the death of Issa Funtua, an ally of President Muhammadu Buhari. Funtua died from a cardiac arrest on Monday night. His remains was buried earlier today, according to Muslim rights. In a statement on Tuesday, Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, described his death as a rude shock and a severe blow to the media industry in the country. Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has also described Funtua's death as a great loss to Nigeria, adding that he would be missed. The partial closure of the 3rd mainland bridge in Lagos State begins from Friday midnight, July 24th, 2020 to January 23rd, 2021. Minister of Works and Housing Babatunde Fashola announced this on Tuesday at a press briefing in Abuja. He stated that between 2015 and 2019, the government undertook a survey of all bridges in Nigeria to determine their conditions and the urgency of repairs that should be done on them. The minister also revealed that the sum of 277 billion naira is estimated to cover the cost of repairs over a period of 4 years. Let's take a break here, but still to come. CBN launched a 100 billion naira credit support intervention for healthcare industry as COVID-19 toll exceeds 37,000 mark. Welcome back to News Now. Here are some of our top stories tonight. House of Rep Speaker Femi Gbajabiamila has directed Minister of Niger Delta Affairs Godswill Akpabio to make public the names of lawmakers that were awarded contracts by the Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC. Akpabio, who had alleged that about 60% of NDDC contracts were given to members of the National Assembly, was given 48 hours to comply with the directive. We also told you that lawmakers at the Nigeria Senate have charged the National Directorate of Employment, NDE, to take over the Public Works Program of the federal government from the Minister of State for Labor and Employment, Festus Keyamo. The House of Representatives has also asked the Minister of Finance not to release any funds to the Public Works Program if it will breach due process. The partial closure of the 3rd mainland bridge in Lagos State will resume on Friday midnight, July 24th, and last till January 23rd, 2020. Minister of Works Babatunde Fashola, who announced this, said a sum of 277 billion naira is estimated to cover the cost of repairs, which will last for a period of 4 years. Almost 4 months after the first coronavirus-related death was recorded, more than 800 people have now died across Nigeria. With 12 new fatalities, a total of 801 people have died of COVID-19 complications in 35 states and the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. The Nigeria Center for Disease Control, NDDC, also announced that 562 new infections were recorded in 20 states and the FCT. On Monday, a total of 228 people were also discharged on Monday, but the number of active patients has now crossed 21,000. A total of 37,222 persons have so far been confirmed to have contracted the novel coronavirus in Nigeria. Minister of Police Affairs Mohammed Dingyadi has gone into self-isolation for COVID-19. This followed his meeting with the Foreign Affairs Minister, Geoffrey Onyema, who tested positive for the virus. Police Affairs Ministry spokesperson Sheyi Oduntayo said the Minister of Police Affairs has gone into isolation in compliance with the NDDC guidelines. Nuhu Gura, a member of the Kaduna State House of Assembly representing Kagako constituency, has tested positive for COVID-19. The lawmaker, who disclosed his COVID-19 status on Tuesday in a statement, said he has been moved to an isolation center in the state. He said he invited officials of the Nigeria Center for Disease Control, NDDC, to the house to take his sample and that of members of his family last Friday. Now, according to him, while members of his family and aide tested negative, his result came out positive. As part of its COVID-19 economic intervention, the Central Bank of Nigeria has inaugurated a body of experts for the healthcare sector research and development intervention scheme. The body, which consists of experts from various health sectors, will be chaired by the Director General, National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, Mojisola Adeyeye. Adesho Odushoga has more in this report.
Despite recording over 37,000 COVID-19 cases in 5 months, there are still fears that there are more Nigerians yet to be tested. The current testing capacity for the country stands at 2,500 samples daily, and half of these tests is set to be administered each day due to the shortage of human resources, testing kit, and laboratory. The Nigerian health sector, with an existing inadequate infrastructure and lack of quality health care, has been exposed to more challenges since the outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic in the country. This is why the Central Bank of Nigeria is inaugurating a body of experts for the healthcare sector research and development intervention scheme to be headed by the Director General of NAFDAC. Speaking at the inauguration, the CBN Governor Godwin Emefiele says it has received over 20 projects valued at 26 billion naira under the 100 billion Central Bank of Nigeria credit support intervention for the healthcare industry.
The primary challenges in Nigeria's healthcare sector are inadequate funding, poor medical infrastructure and supplies, and inequitable distribution of health workers. In order to address this challenge, the Central Bank of Nigeria initiated the Healthcare Sector Research and Development Intervention Scheme. The program is designed to increase the nation's research and development activities that will help support the development of Nigeria-made vaccines, drugs, and herbal medicines.
Performing the inauguration, the chairman of the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19, Boss Mustafa, bemoans the dilapidated state of the Nigeria's health infrastructure, adding that the pandemic has exposed the weaknesses in the nation's health system.
In the course of these 3 months, I've realized that there has been a total abdication of responsibilities in terms of management, in terms of funding, in terms of control, in terms of direction, in terms of building capacity. I believe that your committee has an additional responsibility. In addition to evaluating the scientific papers that will be brought before you, the interventions, the research, the inventions that will be brought before you, that you look at critically that aspect of our governance structure, where people can just walk away from their responsibilities and abdicate it.
On his part, the CBN Director for Development Finance, Philip Yela Yusuf, says the bank has received over 27 proposals from researchers requesting for 67 billion naira grant, which will enable Nigeria to solve its different healthcare challenges.
What we've done today is to assemble a body of experts, professors across the country. You have representatives from the Ministry of Health, the DG NAFDAC, who's the chairman, from the Nigerian Institute of Medical Research, and we've also brought in 2 independent experts who are very vast in administering such grants.
Nigeria currently spends over $1 billion to medical tourism to countries like India, UK, Malaysia, and a host of others in search of medical attention, despite being home to one of the largest stocks of human resources for health in Africa. But with interventions such as these, there are hopes that improvements will be seen in the Nigerian healthcare sector. Adesho Odushoga, TV360, Abuja.
While two studies offer new hope of a potential vaccine for the novel coronavirus, the World Health Organization (WHO) has warned of a possible acceleration of the disease in Africa. Speaking at a virtual news conference in Geneva on Tuesday, WHO's emergency chief, Michael Ryan, said the situation in South Africa could be seen as a warning for what the rest of the continent might have in store. He also advised that to curtail the spread of COVID-19, African countries need external support and community intervention.
The disease, when it came into South Africa first, tended to come into, at the beginning, into wealthier areas, and now has become very much established in poorer areas and townships and rural areas. So therefore, South Africa is experiencing that acceleration. But it's not accelerating any faster than many other countries in Eastern and Southern Africa, all over Africa. In fact, the South Africa numbers may be large, but they've only increased about 30% in the last week. But if you look around the region, in the same time, although the numbers are smaller, Kenya's increased 31%, Ethiopia 26%, Madagascar 50%, Zambia 57%, Eswatini 32%, Zimbabwe 51%, Namibia 69%, and Botswana 66%. And even though the numbers in those other countries are smaller, I think what we're starting to see is a continued acceleration of transmission in a number of countries in sub-Saharan Africa. And I think that has to be taken very, very seriously. South Africa may unfortunately be a precursor. It may be a warning for what will happen in the rest of Africa. So I think this isn't just a wake-up call for South Africa. This really is, we need to take what is happening in Africa very, very seriously. Many of those countries exist in the midst of fragility and conflict. Many of them need external help and support. But what they need is much more support to community-based interventions and much more support to improving clinical pathways.
Still to come is business news. After this break, don't go away. Welcome back. We'll now join Annette Felix for the latest in business.
Thanks, Fidelia. And here's just how much the COVID-19 pandemic is affecting the world of business. Fitch Rating has said COVID-19 and the oil price shock have caused a severe impact on credit rating in Nigeria and some other sub-Saharan African countries. It stated this in its report on Monday titled Outlook on Sub-Saharan Sovereigns is Negative. The report said Fitch forecasts the median real gross domestic product for rated SSA sovereigns will contract by 2.1% in 2020, and that's before returning to growth at 4% in 2021, which is barely above trend growth. The report also noted that the COVID-19 pandemic and the oil price shock it triggered had a severe impact on sovereigns in sub-Saharan Africa, which led to rating downgrades on 7 of the 19 rated SSA sovereigns since the beginning of March 2020. According to Fitch, the fall in revenue combined with additional spending from the healthcare sector would lead to a surge in deficits and debt levels in 2020, and that debt would continue to rise in 2021 for a majority of countries. Oil prices rose on Tuesday, helped by positive news about vaccine trials and a European Union stimulus deal reaching levels last seen when an oil price war erupted in early March between Russia and Saudi Arabia. Benchmark Brent crude was up $1.17 at $44.45 a barrel, on track for its biggest daily rise since mid-June at around 2.7%, while U.S. crude gained 19 cents to $4,100 a barrel, its highest daily rise in a month at around 2.6%. The prices were buoyed by an agreement among European leaders on a 750 billion euros or $859 billion fund to prop up their COVID-19 throttled economies, lifting prospects for fuel demand. In other markets, world shares and the euro also hit their strongest levels since March on Tuesday. Let's take a break here and return with updates on the stock market activities for today. The equities market closed today on a negative note as the Niger Stock Exchange all-share index depreciated to minus 0.39%, and that's to close at 24,175.45 basis points. Now, this is against the 0.07% depreciation recorded previously. Its year-to-date returns currently stands at minus 9.94%. Now, taking a look at the market capitalization here, we see a 12.610 trillion naira. And this means that investors lost a total of 49.63 billion naira at the close of market today. And let's see here, recording that the market negative breath today is topped by the industrial goods sector, with Dangote Cement CAP PLC losing by 4 naira here and 1 naira and 7 kobo respectively. And it's closely followed by International Breweries PLC and Etana PLC of the oil and gas sector. And our top gainers today is led by Niger Breweries, MTN Nigeria PLC. Let's see what else you'll have here: Vitafoam and Africa Prudential PLC. Now, on this chart, what we see is that market turnover closed negative. Now, this is because volume closed at 304.185 million units of shares, moving down by minus 0.30%, and that's as against plus 90.09% uptick recorded in the previous session. And for the value list, we see a figure of 3.268 billion naira transacted in a total of 3,500 deals. And to our global stock markets, yes, we see that the EU has signed a 750 billion euro COVID-19 rescue plan for European economies, and it was enough to keep the FTSE in positive territory today, as the ASI actually grew by 0.11%. Also as well, Dow Jones has seen a positive push buoyed by an economic stimulus in the US, and the Nikkei as well closing positive at 0.73%. And that's it from here, Fidelia.
Thank you very much, Annetta. Now to the foreign scene. Uganda's long-serving president, Yoweri Museveni, is seeking a new term in office, which could potentially extend his rule to 4 decades. Spokesperson for the ruling National Resistance Movement said Museveni has picked nomination forms for the flag-bearer position in next year's presidential election, and no one else had yet shown up to contest him within the party. Museveni, who has been in office since 1986, has won 5 presidential elections. In 2017, Uganda's parliament, dominated by NRM lawmakers, removed an age cap from the constitution, allowing him to seek another term. His strongest opposition presidential aspirant is 38-year-old pop star and lawmaker Bobi Wine. Eric Dier has extended his contract at Tottenham, and the new deal will see him remain at the club until 2024. The club announced the contract extension on their official website on Tuesday. The midfielder's previous deal was due to expire next summer, but Spurs have officially tied him down to fresh terms. Since he joined the club from Sporting CP back in 2014, Dier has racked up 239 senior appearances for the Lily Whites, scoring 11 goals. Of those outings, 29 have come in the 2019-2020 campaign, and he has enjoyed a prominent role in Mourinho's starting first 11 in the second half of the season. And that's it on News Now. Many thanks for joining us. I am Fidelia Guncha. Bye for now.